The distant rumbling of the earth was a constant companion on the barren, rocky terrain of the planet Orthus. Harsh winds swept across the desolate landscape, swirling dust and sand into the hostile air. Amidst this harsh environment, a young alien girl named Anna struggled to navigate the craggy rocks under her feet. Breathing heavily, Anna clutched a jagged stone for balance, her eyes scanning the horizon. Her skin, a luminous shade of blue, stood out starkly against the dull browns and grays of the planet. Abandoned by her people, the Zillions, who deemed her weak and unworthy, she was left to perish alone. Suddenly, a low growl echoed across the valley. Anna's head snapped towards the sound, her heart pounding in her chest. From behind a large boulder, a monstrous creature emerged, its eyes glowing with a predatory light. The creature was twice her size, with gnarled teeth and spiny ridges along its back. Anna froze, knowing she was no match for such a beast. As the creature charged, a loud blast resonated through the air. The beast stumbled and fell just meters from where Anna stood. Shocked, she looked in the direction of the blast to see a group of humans approaching, weapons drawn. The leader of the group, a tall man with stern features, stepped forward. His name was Captain Jack Sullivan. Behind him, two other men surveyed the area, their expressions wary. "Are you hurt?" Jack asked, lowering his weapon as he neared Anna. She shook her head, still too stunned to speak, observing the humans cautiously. They were clearly not from around here. Their suits were designed for combat and survival, far more advanced than anything her people used. "We didn't expect to find anyone else alive on this forsaken rock," another human, a rugged man with a scar across his cheek, said gruffly. He introduced himself as Harris, the ship's engineer. The third man, younger and less guarded, offered Anna a small smile. "I'm Tom," he said, "the pilot. Well, I was until we crashed. Now, I suppose I'm just another survivor." Anna found her voice, still wary but curious. "Why did you help me?" she asked, her voice a soft melody compared to the gruff tones of the men. Jack's gaze was steady, his eyes reflecting a mixture of curiosity and determination. "No one deserves to die alone on a planet like this," he replied, "especially not at the hands of that." He gestured toward the fallen creature. Anna looked at the dead beast, then back at the humans. "My people abandoned me here because they thought I was weak. I don't know what I can offer you," she admitted, a flicker of sadness crossing her features. Tom stepped closer, his tone encouraging. "Sometimes, surviving is the strongest thing you can do. You're here, and that's what matters. We're all in the same situation now, and it looks like we could use all the help we can get." Jack nodded in agreement. "We're trying to establish a temporary camp until we can fix our communications gear and call for a pickup. You're welcome to join us, Anna." Offering her a hand, Jack helped her to her feet. As they walked back toward the makeshift camp, Anna felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps in this group of strangers, she might find a new kind of strength. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land as they all moved together, each step a move toward survival, a shared effort to conquer the threats of Orthus. The Odyssey had been a beacon of human engineering and exploration, equipped for long-range missions to the outer sectors of known space. Now its twisted and scorched remains littered a ravine on Orthus, a grim testament to the perils of deep space travel. As the sun rose over the horizon, casting long shadows over the wreckage, the crew gathered among the debris to assess their situation. Captain Jack Sullivan stood at the center, examining a handheld device with a flickering screen. Beside him, Harris and Tom rifled through the scattered supplies, salvaging whatever could still be of use. "We've got limited supplies," Harris reported, his voice tinged with frustration. "Some of the rations are intact, and there's enough water for a few days, but our medical kit took a hit." Tom, ever the optimist, held up a sealed container with a grin. "Not all bad news. Looks like the emergency beacons are still functional. If we can get to higher ground, we might be able to send a distress signal." Jack nodded, considering their options. "All right, let's prioritize then. Harris, see if you can rig up something to carry the supplies. Tom, you and I will scout for a suitable location to set up camp and attempt communication." As the men set to work, Anna approached cautiously, still feeling like an outsider. She watched their interactions, the easy camaraderie born of shared challenges, and hesitated to intrude. Jack noticed her reticence and paused in his tasks. "Anna, right?" he asked, his tone inviting. "You know this planet better than we do. Do you have any suggestions on where we should set up?" he asked. Jack's group faced a daunting challenge of finding higher ground or natural shelter. Anna, unfamiliar with being consulted, was taken aback by the request but responded after some thought, suggesting a ridge about half a day's walk away. This area, elevated and free from the dens of larger creatures, seemed a promising choice for their needs. Jack, showing confidence in Anna, appointed her as their guide, to which she agreed, feeling a newfound sense of purpose. The group spent the rest of the morning preparing for the journey, constructing a makeshift cart from wreckage, thanks to Harris's engineering skills, to carry their supplies. Despite the grim mood, they were determined as they set off towards the ridge. Along the way, Tom struck up a conversation with Anna, inquiring about her past. She revealed that her people, who valued strength and survival, had abandoned her, deeming her a liability during their migration cycle. Tom expressed sympathy, and Anna, with a bittersweet smile, suggested that her abandonment might have been a blessing, as it led her to meet the group. Their conversation was interrupted when Jack, from the front of the group, pointed to the horizon, asking if a visible ridge was their destination. Anna confirmed it, noting they could reach it by nightfall. The journey proved tough, with unforgiving terrain, but as the sun set, they finally reached the ridge. The setting sun bathed the alien landscape in a golden glow, offering a new vantage point and a glimmer of hope for rescue. Setting up camp on the ridge, Anna felt a sense of belonging with the group, now seeing herself as a valuable member rather than an outcast. The next morning, under the early dawn's light, Captain Jack Sullivan and his crew, including Anna as their guide, began exploring the area around their new campsite. Anna's insights were invaluable, helping the group avoid known dangers as they navigated the narrow canyon. Jack, leading with a rifle, stayed vigilant, with Tom and Harris following close behind, equipped with scanners and ammunition. Anna walked alongside Jack, expressing gratitude for being saved from a creature earlier. Jack, in turn, emphasized the group's mutual care for each other. Their exploration took a tense turn when Tom's scanner picked up a large, unidentified movement nearby. The group took cover, observing as a large shadow passed, suggesting a creature's presence. Anna's knowledge was crucial, identifying the creature as a grar, a local apex predator. They considered retreating but were forced to confront the beast when it appeared, a massive reptilian form. Jack's attempt to deter it with a gunshot failed, prompting Anna to step forward and communicate with the creature using guttural sounds. Miraculously, the grar retreated, confused by Anna's communication. The group, awed by Anna's ability to speak the creature's language, realized her unique value. Jack, impressed, joked about her intimidating skill, easing the group's tension. This encounter solidified Anna's role not just as a survivor but as a protector within the group. As they continued their journey, Jack contemplated the potential benefits of Anna's skills, recognizing a better chance of survival with her help. He encouraged her to lead the way, eager to discover more of the planet's secrets. That evening, as they settled around a campfire under the twin moons of Orthus, Jack couldn't help but reflect on the day's events, particularly Anna's unexpected intervention. Praising her actions, Jack inquired how she learned to communicate with the local creatures. Anna explained her natural affinity for the fauna, a skill undervalued by her people. Tom acknowledged its usefulness, while Harris remained skeptical, voicing concerns about trusting Anna's motives. The atmosphere grew tense, with Anna reassuring them of her intentions to help, despite understanding their mistrust. Their discussion was abruptly interrupted by an alert from a perimeter device. Tom, investigating, revealed they had detected a signal, human or otherwise. It was encrypted in a way he hadn't seen before. Concerned about the potential implications, Jack decided to keep monitoring the situation, uncertain if the signal was a threat or a possible ally. The group, under the dim light of the twin moons, remained on high alert, the day's events leaving them wary but more unified in their quest for survival. The first watch began with the fire crackling softly, casting a warm glow that seemed to envelop the camp in a peaceful atmosphere. However, as the night deepened, Jack noticed something unusual. Harris was sneaking away from his sleeping spot, heading towards the communication setup. Intrigued and cautious, Jack decided to follow Harris at a safe distance. He observed Harris as he powered up the communication device, manipulating the settings with a clear intent to send out a message. Stepping out from the shadows, Jack's voice was low but firm as he confronted Harris. "What are you doing, Harris?" Startled, Harris spun around, clearly caught off guard. "Jack, I was just checking the equipment, making sure it's still operational," he stammered, his eyes betraying his guilt. Jack approached him, glancing at the screen, which displayed a half-composed message. "This doesn't look like routine checks to me. Who are you trying to contact at this hour without letting anyone know?" Jack questioned, his tone sharpening. The tension was palpable, and Harris's guilt was evident. "I don't trust her, Jack," Harris confessed. "I was going to contact HQ to get them to check her out or pick us up." Jack's disappointment was unmistakable. "By potentially exposing our position, you could endanger us all. We do this as a team, Harris, we decide together." Realizing his mistake, Harris lowered his head in shame. "I'm sorry, Captain. I let my distrust cloud my judgment." Jack placed a reassuring hand on Harris's shoulder. We're all under stress, and trust is hard in these conditions. But we have to rely on each other. As they returned to the camp, Jack's mind was troubled, not just by Harris's actions but by the encrypted signal. Who else was out there, and what would their presence mean for their already precarious situation? The need for unity was clear, but achieving it would be their next great challenge. The night following the confrontation was uneasy, leaving the group restless as they mulled over the challenges they faced. Captain Jack Sullivan decided it was crucial to reinforce their camp and enhance their defenses. They couldn't afford internal strife with potential threats lurking on the planet. At dawn, Anna helped Jack and Tom organize a scouting mission to gather more resources and survey the area for any signs of the mysterious signal they had detected. Meanwhile, Harris worked on strengthening the perimeter defenses, trying to make amends for his earlier mistrust. The day was unusually quiet. The usual cacophony of alien wildlife was muted under a heavy, oppressive sky. Anna sensed a tension in the air, a prelude to something dire. "A storm's coming," she murmured, looking toward the darkening horizon. "Literal or figurative?" Tom joked half-heartedly, checking his scanner. "Both," Anna replied, her gaze serious. Back at camp, as they prepared their findings and fortified their position, the ground suddenly trembled. A low, reverberating growl echoed through the valley, unlike any creature sound Anna had taught them. "That's no storm," Harris said, peering into the distance with binoculars. Emerging from the shadows of the looming cliffs were dozens of creatures, more than they had ever seen at one time, led by a massive grar, its scales glinting ominously under the fading light. It was a siege, a coordinated attack by the planet's predators. "Positions now," Jack commanded as everyone scrambled to their designated spots. Anna took her place beside Jack, her understanding of the creatures their best shot at survival. As the beasts neared, Jack signaled to hold fire. "Wait for my call, we need to make every shot count." The creatures surged forward as one, a terrifying wave of claws and teeth. "Now!" Jack yelled, and the air was filled with the sound of gunfire and the hisses and roars of the attacking beasts. Anna, focusing her energy, tried to communicate a warning to the creatures, appealing to their instincts to avoid danger. Some hesitated, confusion in their eyes, but the grar roared, urging its pack onward. Tom, manning a heavy turret, kept his fire focused on the larger targets, while Harris covered the flanks, preventing smaller creatures from breaching their makeshift barriers. The air was thick with dust and the acrid smell of gunpowder. Despite their best efforts, a few creatures broke through, leading to close combat. Jack and Harris fought off a snarling beast just meters from their central shelter. Anna, her own safety forgotten, helped drag an injured Tom to safety, his leg caught by a creature's vicious swipe. As the battle reached its fever pitch, the grar itself charged, barreling towards Anna and Jack. With calm born of desperate courage, Jack took aim and fired, a well-placed shot staggering the beast. Seizing the moment, Anna stepped forward, repeating the calming sounds she had used before, now coupled with the clear threat they posed. The grar hesitated, then turned, leading the remaining creatures away from the camp. Exhausted, injured, but alive, the crew regrouped. "Thanks to Anna, we're still breathing," Jack said, clapping her on the shoulder, a grateful look in his eyes. As they tended to their wounds and assessed the damage, the reality of their situation settled in. They had survived this attack, but there would be more. They needed to find a way off Orthus soon or risk facing a threat they couldn't overcome. The aftermath of the siege left the camp in disarray and the crew exhausted but more resolved than ever to secure a way off the planet. As they repaired the damage, the tension that had simmered between Harris and the rest of the crew seemed to ebb, replaced by a grudging respect for Anna's role in their survival. However, peace was short-lived. While Jack and Tom worked on recalibrating the communication equipment to boost the signal of their distress beacon, Anna and Harris were tasked with scouting for additional resources necessary for repairing their ship. This pairing, orchestrated by Jack, was meant to mend fences between the two. As they ventured out, Harris's demeanor was cautiously amicable. "You know, Anna, I might have been wrong about you," he began, breaking the silence. "You've got guts, I'll give you that." Anna nodded, accepting his olive branch but remaining alert. "We all want the same thing, Harris, to get off this planet. I'm here to help, not hinder." Their path took them through a densely wooded area where the undergrowth thickened, and the air grew damp. As they collected samples and mapped the area, Harris's scanner beeped loudly, signaling a nearby energy source, a rare and valuable find that could potentially power their communications for weeks. Excited by the discovery, they approached the source, only to find it was a piece of advanced technology unfamiliar to both of them. As Anna examined it, Harris suddenly turned on her, his weapon drawn. "Sorry, Anna, but I can't take any more risks. You're coming with me." Confused and alarmed, Anna faced him. "Harris, what are you doing? Put that down." We're on the same side. Not anymore, Harris responded grimly. I found this transmitter on you, he said, holding up a small, sophisticated device Anna had never seen before. You're a spy or something worse. Anna's confusion deepened. That's not mine. I don't even. Harris remained unmoved despite the unsettling discovery, deciding to take Anna back to Camp Jack, where her fate would be determined. She was bound and guarded, walking in silence beside Harris, whose troubled thoughts were evident. Upon arrival, Harris presented his findings to Jack and Tom, who were shocked but hesitant to jump to conclusions. Jack examined the device carefully, noting that it wasn't Zion technology and doubting that Anna could understand it. Tom urged caution, reminding the group of their shared experiences and Anna's proven trustworthiness. However, suspicion began to divide the camp, with some siding with Harris while others stood by Anna. That night, the camp was tense with fear and uncertainty. Anna sat alone on the outskirts when Tom approached her, whispering his belief in her innocence and promising to prove it. Anna, grateful yet saddened, expressed her desire to help them get home. Determined, Tom worked through the night, analyzing the device and communications logs. By morning, he had made a startling discovery. The device was not a spy transmitter but a component of their own ship's black box, meant to send automatic distress signals. This revelation shocked the group, particularly Harris, who realized his mistake. Jack acknowledged Harris's vigilance but noted how it nearly tore them apart. Harris apologized to Anna, who, despite her hurt, forgave him, emphasizing the need for trust to survive. As the team reconciled, they refocused on repairing their communications equipment, aware that their situation remained dire and that local threats were growing. Just as they neared the completion of repairs, the sky darkened ominously. Anna noticed a sleek, metallic ship descending toward their camp, bearing the unmistakable emblem of the Zillion, a sign of her own people. The ship landed, and armed figures emerged, led by a commanding officer who accused Anna of treason and conspiracy with outsiders. Despite her fear, Anna stood firm, refuting the charges and reminding them of her abandonment. Jack and the crew defended Anna, refusing to hand her over. The situation escalated into a tense standoff, with both sides poised for conflict. Tom, always resourceful, suggested using the newly repaired communications to send a distress call while they kept the Zillions talking. As Jack questioned the Zillion commander's motives, Tom activated the equipment, sending a signal for help. Just as the situation reached a breaking point, the Zillion commander ordered Anna's capture. Gunfire erupted, and the humans fought valiantly, though they were outnumbered. In a bold move, Anna confronted the commander, reciting Zillion laws and rights to sow confusion. Her actions bought time for the rescue signal to reach a human outpost. With reinforcements promised, the humans found renewed strength, and the Zillion forces hesitated, unsure of their next move. The humans and Zillions were locked in a standoff, each side waiting for the next development. As the threat of a larger conflict loomed, the human forces retreated to their ship, leaving as quickly as they had arrived. Jack, breathing heavily as he watched the ship disappear into the sky, placed a hand on Anna's shoulder and said, "You were incredible." "Thank you." Anna smiled weakly, feeling both relieved and weary. "Thank you for believing in me," she replied. The crew, visibly relieved, gathered around them. They understood that this was only a brief respite and that they needed to prepare for what was to come. However, they were more united than ever and ready to face any challenge. In the days following their confrontation with the Zillions, the crew experienced a mix of relief and anticipation. Their successful defense had brought them closer together, solidifying Anna's place among them. They focused on fortifying their camp and maintaining the distress signal, anxiously awaiting rescue. One clear morning, the distinct hum of an approaching ship filled the air. The crew looked up to see a sleek human vessel descending towards their camp. Cheers erupted as they realized that help had finally arrived. The ship landed gracefully, and a team of rescue personnel emerged, greeted warmly by Jack, Tom Harris, and Anna. Captain Elaine Roberts, leading the rescue mission, approached Jack and his crew. "Captain Sullivan, it's good to see you all in one piece. We've been tracking your signal for days," she said. Jack shook her hand firmly. "We've had quite the adventure, Captain." "We owe a lot to our new friend Anna," he replied. Elaine turned to Anna with a respectful expression. "Any friend of the Odyssey crew is a friend of ours. Welcome aboard, Anna." As they began loading supplies and preparing for departure, Anna felt a mix of emotions. She had found a new family here, but the future remained uncertain. Sensing her hesitation, Jack approached her and said gently, "You know, Anna, you don't have to come back with us. After everything you've been through, you might want to find a new place and start fresh." Anna looked at him, her eyes reflecting her inner turmoil. "And go where? My people won't accept me, and I have nothing left there." She paused, a soft smile forming. Besides, I think I found something worth staying for right here with all of you. Jack smiled and nodded. We're glad to have you, Anna. You've saved us as much as we've saved you. As the last of the supplies were loaded, the crew boarded the rescue ship, leaving the harsh landscape of Orthus behind. The ship ascended smoothly, breaking through the planet's atmosphere and heading towards the safety of the human fleet. During the journey, the crew gathered in the common area, recounting their harrowing experiences and planning their future. Harris, still feeling the weight of his earlier betrayal, approached Anna with a sincere apology. Anna, I owe you an apology. I doubted you when I should have trusted you. I hope you can forgive me, he said. Anna nodded, her smile reassuring. We all make mistakes, Harris. What matters is that we learn from them and stand together when it counts. Tom, always the optimist, raised a toast. To survival, to new friends, and to the adventures ahead. As the crew raised their glasses, Jack took a moment to reflect on their journey. They had faced insurmountable odds, battled fierce creatures, and survived internal strife. Through it all, they had discovered the strength of their unity and the importance of trust. The ship continued its journey through the stars, carrying them towards a future filled with hope and new beginnings. For Anna, it was a chance to redefine her destiny, no longer an exile but a valued member of a new family. For the crew of the Odyssey, it was a reminder of humanity's resilience and the bonds that can form even in the most unlikely of circumstances. As they looked out into the vast expanse of space, they knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. The journey of survival on Orthus had forged an unbreakable bond, one that would carry them through any trials the universe might throw their way.